get into the biggest, perhaps the most effective rule change. The new kickoff rule. How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. I
I
don't
love it.
really.
Yeah, it's going to make kick returns more exciting. We're not going to get 500 touchbacks a game.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll give you that. It's gonna make it more exciting, but I don't know. I mean, for me, I think this puts more of an emphasis on special teams as far as your alignment goes, because special teams coaches, they're a dime a dozen, right? And it is what it is. Some special teams is better than others, but I feel like it's a lot easier as far as trying to defend a return if your guys are running full speed. Now, obviously, they took that out for health reasons, but now you're kind of man on man situation, right? We saw this in the
Yeah,
XFL.
and you can't move until the ball's touched either. So
Yeah. So if you get some good thick boys up front blocking for you, there could be a lot of returns
yeah,
this year in the NFL.
get some get some Austinos on the line.
Mm-hmm. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not a fan, but it's something I don't like change. So it's something I'll get used to and be fine with. But oh well. The one that not fine with, Tony, I'm sure you're gonna agree on this one. Hip drop tackle
Yep.
has
Stupid.
has now
Stupid.
been
Stupid.
banned.
Stupid. That is such a just ticky tacky type thing that oh, he dropped to one knee to make the tackle. Let's throw a flag. Like that is gonna ruin the game. That is gonna ruin so many late classic drives or fucking defensive stops. Or I think it's stupid. I don't like it, and you can't review something like that. So who's to say? Oh, 4th and 21. The Browns are on defense, have to go for it to make, or the other team has to go for it. Browns need to stop to make the playoffs. Other team needs to get a touchdown to make the playoffs. JOK makes a beautiful tackle 2 inches in front of the first down line. All of a sudden, the hip drop tackle, 15-yard penalty. The other team has new life. It's going to be so ticky tacky and touchy, and you don't know when the flag could come out. There's going to be plays where it shouldn't come out when it doesn't. There's going to be plays where it doesn't, or it shouldn't come out and it does. It's going to be weird. I don't like it. At this point, just give them flags and let them pull flags off their waist instead of you can't tackle anymore. You can't play defense. You can't play defense in the NFL. You can't play defense in the NBA. You can't play defense in any major American sport anymore because offense drives ratings, touchdowns drives ratings, buckets drives ratings, whatever you want to say. It's stupid. I'd much rather watch a game that's 0-0 with two defenses going back and forth than a game that's like 50-50 with a half a quarter left because you can't play defense. You can't touch quarterback, can't touch wide receiver, can't tackle, can't do this, can't do that. It's dumb. It's too much of a opinion foul in my opinion. But yeah, too much of one ref's gonna throw it, one ref's not. There's no clear written rule to tell me what's a hip drop tackle. What does this guy consider a hip drop tackle? What does this guy consider a hip drop tackle? It's stupid.
Yeah, I my biggest problem with this is we've seen some injury prone tackles, I guess is the way to describe it, from some real like got a guy at his waist and you drop him like a hip drop, but his legs are wrapped onto you, right? We've seen that. But at the same time, I would argue you could probably say a good 80% of the tackles that have been made in the NFL, you could argue are hip drop tackles. So,
Yeah, and they're plays that nobody gets hurt, so nobody notices.
exactly. Yeah. So, how are they going to consistently call this fairly? Is the question I have. Because if this is a situation where it's egregious only and you're just throwing a guy down, and you're wrapping his leg behind you, you know what I mean? If it's that, okay. But to what you said, there's going to be no consistency. If we're sitting here trying to argue, hey, well, it's only for these situations, please give me one example, one, where NFL officiating has called a current rule to the same standard across the league. It
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
happen.
you're not gonna see that.
No. So I think this is a disaster. I think this is gonna
I agree.
make this season, you're gonna have to put up points. I think that's just what it comes down to. If you're gonna win games,
everything's going to be an offensive shootout, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, tackling is important, right? Teaching tackling, breaking down, wrapping up, driving your legs. That's important to teach. That's why it's taught so particularly high at a low level of football. I remember, middle school biddy football going over tackling drills over and over and over and over and over. Hey, these guys are in the NFL. Denzel Ward ain't going to be tackling Mark Andrews how you want him to tackle. Like, he's going to have to find a way. You going to flag it every time? I mean...
And it's another one of those things that goes back to it's an opinion flag. Mm-hmm. Are certain players going to get the benefit of the doubt more often than not? If you dropped a one knee tackling Patrick Mahomes, are they going to send you to the firing squad? Like,
yeah.
It's going to be so opinionated.
Yeah.
It's essentially the roughing the passer shit where you can't touch Tom Brady, otherwise it's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. I think we'll find out beginning of the year how bad it is, because they're going to have to find...
We'll see in preseason just how dumb it will be.
Yeah. If you had to put money on it, though, before we move on, if you had to put money on it, is this the rule after next year? Do you think they keep this rule?
No, I think it's an experimental thing, and I think it'll end up getting dropped.